Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest in exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
All right, Motorheads, you may think that all car care products are the same, but what if I told you the world's largest retailer, Walmart, carries products from Suds Lab? So, Victor, if Walmart carries it, they must think the world of it. What makes Suds Lab better and different and worth it for Walmart to carry?
Well, to start off, the biggest call out in our brand is everything starts out at 32-ounce bottles, while everything on the shelf is really a 16 to 24-ounce. Another key takeaway with the brand is almost all of our products are dilutable, so there's user preferences on how you want to use it and depending on the vehicle severity.
So we'll start on the interior. What does Suds Lab have for me? What do I do to clean it to start off with?
So for the interior side, we have our N2 interior cleaner. That is used on the heavy dirt and grime, anything from leather, plastic, vinyl, carpeted surfaces, followed by our interior detailer, which is our maintenance product. This cleans, shines, and protects. But the key call out with this product is when you apply it, it'll condition your leather and plastic surfaces, but you're not slipping and sliding through everything.
All right, so let's move to the outside now. We want the car to look good on the outside. We'll start with the wheels. We'll go from the ground up. So what's the first product I want to use to get them clean?
So our fan favorite is our XA Zero Acid Wheel Cleaner. This product you can spray on your wheels and tires and let it dwell from anywhere from 30 to 60 seconds. Rinse it off with a garden hose or a pressure washer, and your wheels will be clean. We write minimal scrubbing required, not touchless, because depending on the make and model of your car, you're going to have to agitate a little bit, and we're very honest with how we showcase our products.
Then once the tires are clean, what's the next step?
We would follow with our tire and trim dressing. This can be diluted up to 3 different ways, so you can have a shiny tire, a matte tire, or an OEM black sheen of a tire. Another thing also with this tire and trim is it can actually be used on the trim. Most tire shines people will apply on trims, but when they bake in the sun, it'll dry out your trim even faster. This is a water-based solution, so it's safe to apply on your trim.
And how long can I expect it to last on the tires or the trim?
So depending on the level of shine, you can get anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks, we'd like to say.
Excellent. Now, moving to the painted surfaces here, what's my first step there?
The first step for the exterior would be using our CP ceramic protective wash. You can use it in a foam cannon or a bucket, and it has a high foaming lubrication substance, while most ceramic washes on the market do not. They're very low in viscosity, so when you're washing your car, you feel like the soap's running off. This has that high foaming, sticking soap that it'll dwell on the surface longer, allowing you to enjoy your washing process and leave a layer of protection behind. So to maintain that clean after your car has been washed and dried using our ceramic protective wash, you would take our ceramic spray sealant and apply it on a dry surface. You could apply it anywhere throughout the exterior, wheels, paint, glass, metal, chrome, whatever you have, and it'll leave a nice layer or coat of protection. And then you can maintain it by using the ceramic protective wash or using the CS further on in your future wash processes.
We mentioned you do the hard part. You formulated everything, and these are formulated by you, right?
Correct.
This is not something you just bought from China and slapped your label on.
No, everything's proudly made in the United States.
And if you look at the back of the package, you see there's QR codes on everything. So if you have any doubt how to actually apply it, you guys make that part simple too.
Correct. If you don't want to read the 3 bullet points, you have a 27-second video you scan while you're in the Walmart store, and you can watch the entire process of how to use everything.
Very cool. Now we see some accessories here on the table, and one of them is your foam cannon. It's very unassuming. Looks like a typical foam cannon, pretty simple, but you're hiding a little secret there that makes it unique.
The secret behind this foam cannon is we've added a weighted dip tube, because when you're washing your car, sometimes you have to bend the can in a specific way to get that last few ounces of soap out. But with a weighted dip tube, this will contour inside the bottom of your bottle, and you'll be able to drain everything and foam your entire car up.
You are always innovating. You are a detailer yourself, so you always come up with new ideas. What are you working on now at Suds Lab?
Right now we're working on a heated filtered car dryer, which will allow you to dry all those cracks and crevices on the exterior of your car, from the windows, from the grille, the bumpers, the tires, because once you're done washing your car, you don't want to see those drip marks coming down the side panels. So that is something that we have in the works that is being finalized soon, and you'll be able to see it soon.
Suds Lab has everything you need to get your car clean inside and out. You can go to your local Walmart to find it, or you can go to walmart.com Suds Lab store. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage, so do not go anywhere. We'll see you in a few. Motorhead Garage is brought to you by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics. PaintedAutoBodyParts.com, the leading U.S. auto body parts online store. And by Custom Auto Sound, audio for the great classics, customs, and street rods. All right, Motorheads, hear me out. Now, you've seen the cell phone seat before, but what if I told you it's gotten even better? Now, it's one of the most popular items we've ever seen here on the show. Scott, when you invented the cell phone seat, it was an evolutionary process. You kept getting feedback and you kept trying it out, and you've done that again, an evolution through what your customers have to say. So how has the cell phone seat gotten even better?
So great question. So we had a lot of feedback from our customers. They love the product, but they mentioned some things that could potentially be better. Well, we've worked really hard to make some improvements on the device itself. Not only have we changed the front to make your front navigation buttons more accessible, we've also included optional foam inserts. So some people had a little bit of movement maybe with smaller phones or phones without cases. Now we've got these amazing foam inserts that you can easily put into the holder to work for smaller phones or phones that don't have a case. We also have modified the base. So if you have any type of movement in your cup holder, I mean, because there's, 100 million different combinations of cup holders, of cell phone sizes, plus you have accessories and cases. So we have created these foam strips that you can now put around the base of your cell phone seat to ensure that it fits perfectly and stays secure in your cup holder while you're driving.
Now, that wasn't an exaggeration. 100 million is actually the number Scott came up with using AI to figure out how many different combinations there are. And this, of all devices out there, there are other options, this fits more than any other. Why is it so adaptable?
Well, we just made it really universal, right? It has a flexible set of rings on the base that you can flex from 4 inches down to about 3 inches. You can even modify these to get down to 2.5 inches if needed, and we have that in our instructions. We left the top very open to accommodate for larger phones, phones with large cases. I use a wallet case on my phone, so I need a lot of extra room in there. So we do have this large opening for those types of phones, but of course, a lot of people have very small phones. I mean, you have the newest phone from iPhone is pretty tiny, right? So that's going to have a little bit of movement when you're in the device, which is okay. You can have a little bit of movement when it's in there, but with the new foam inserts, check that out.
Don't try this at home.
So now with the new foam inserts, you can actually put those in there and not have any movement on any different type of phone.
Now, I mentioned this is an evolutionary process, and the cell phone seat looks super simple. But it was complicated to get this design exactly the way you wanted it to. Durability, I know, was also a factor that you thought of when designing this.
Correct. So because it's the only single piece of plastic that does everything that the cell phone seat does on the market, it had to be extremely durable. We're very proud to say this is made in America. We make this in Fraser, Michigan, out of very strong, durable, American-made plastic. This is made by American hands. We put a lot of pride into the strength that we have and the durability. There is a lifetime warranty on it, so hey, if it's 5 degrees outside and you try to squeeze it into a small cup holder and you crack it, we're going to replace it for you.
Very cool. And you have a lot of different options now, and there are newer options since the last time we saw you regarding colors and design. So let's look at some of what's new from the cell phone seat and the cup holder phone holder, the new version.
That's correct. So we've added some new colors, including a wolf gray, a canyon beige. We do have a lot of our original colors, and we're very excited to show that we have these new custom colors. These are hydrographic dipped, and you can get anything from the tie-dye to American flag version. So people are very excited about those.
And it's more than you can see here. If you go to cellphoneseat.com, you can see even more designs. One of the things I love about the cell phone seat is that you can actually still use your cup holder with that. And I think that stands head and shoulders above everything else. I get in a lot of rental cars. The cup holder is the only place to put the phone, and that renders it useless. I'm not able to use it for anything else.
Exactly. You definitely don't want to block your cup holder. That's the reason I designed this. When I first had the idea, I was throwing my phone in my cup holder like most people do. It was bouncing around. I couldn't really see it. The idea popped in my head. We worked for years 3D printing different versions of this to get it just right, and the ultimate goal of to make it fit universally in most cup holders without actually blocking the cup holder. Because hey, we need our coffee, we need our water, we need our protein energy drink, whatever the drink of the day is, we need to have access to it. So this can be used anywhere there's a cup holder between 3 and 4 inches. It's going to work in golf carts. It's going to work we've even heard it works in tractors. It's going to work in your cars. It's going to work in your trucks. It's going to work in your boat. It's even going to work at home in your recliner.
And it's going to work with more than just phones here. If you've got a kid maybe with their iPad in the back, you can set that right in there and put it in the cup holder in the car seat and you're good to go.
That's correct. Now your kid's back there, he can watch whatever he likes to watch or play on his iPad, and he doesn't even lose spot for his apple juice or his milk.
Now, there are imitators out there. You can go to other websites and you can find a cheap substitute. It may look the same, but the design and the quality will not be the same as the cup holder, phone holder from Cell Phone Seat. The only place to get the real deal is cellphoneseat.com. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage, so please stay tuned. Now, a lot of you have a vehicle like this, a pickup truck you might drive every single day, but I also know that a lot of you have a vehicle that you might store over the winter months or just get out for the weekend, something like this 33 Plymouth. Well, when your vehicle's in storage, that is the perfect time for a mouse to take up residence in your vehicle. And here's the thing about mice and other rodents. Their teeth never stop growing, so they have to chew on stuff to keep those teeth under control, stuff like your insulation and your electrical wiring, but you can stop it all from happening by using devices from Mouse Blocker. Mouse Blocker uses ultrasonic waves, so it's humane. It just makes things uncomfortable for the mice, so they move out. Keep the mice out. Protect your vehicle. Go to mouseblocker.com to see what they have for you.
During your engine's 4-stroke cycle, you have a stroke called the power stroke. That's when the air-fuel mixture goes in and explodes, pushing that piston down. Well, here's the next one, my friends. This is called the exhaust stroke. What's happening here is everything's burnt in there, and you may even have some unburned fuel still burning and coming out of that cylinder. What's next? Welcome to this AMSOIL Tech Tip. We're talking about the exhaust system, and to understand the exhaust system, let's look at that exhaust stroke. The first thing that's happening is the piston's on its way up, and that exhaust valve opens. That means all the exhaust has to get pushed out. Now it has to get pushed out where? Through the exhaust system. You can see there the exhaust manifold, the header pipe, through the catalytic converter, through the muffler, and out the tailpipe. All that has to be functioning correctly, including everything inside the muffler, the baffles, the resonance, everything going on inside of there. So what can you do? A quick exhaust inspection. This is pretty cool. Just go through and look at all the hangers, look at all the metal products on there, anything that the rubber suspension components that are going to hold the exhaust system up, just take a look at them, twist them, pull them, tug on them. Then follow the exhaust all the way from the tailpipes up, giving your catalytic converters a good inspection. You can also do an infrared test. You can shoot that pipe and see if there's any hot spots. Let's say, for example, there was 200 degrees and then it was 100 after there, you know you got a hot spot. You can take a rubber mallet and tap it and listen to any rattles going on. Len, some good tips, man. This rubber mallet's phenomenal, hitting these parts. You may hear something rattling, the rubber hangers, or you can shoot it with this infrared gun and check for the temperature difference. Let's say, for example, it's 600 degrees here and 200 here. We know we got a restriction. Also, this catalytic converter, man, this thing is all thermal melted. So what happened, nothing is going to get through there. That's a huge problem because you got some massive pressure in the cylinder.
Right, that exhaust has to go someplace, and it's going to find the path of least resistance. Normally, as you know, that's going to be past the rings, through the ring end gap. Anywhere where it can sneak through there, what's under there is the oil. So the oil is going to end up absorbing that exhaust gas. And exhaust gases are all kinds of nasty stuff. Byproducts of combustion is what we call them. Nitric acid can be the byproduct that's produced when it all mixes down there in the oil sump. You need to build in reserve protection, which we do in all of our products. It's called total base number. That's the reserve alkalinity in the oil that's designed to handle those types of things. Make sure that your oil doesn't turn to acid. Acid likes to eat bearings.
Yeah, and that's not a good thing. You know you're really into cars when you can tell which friend is coming over by the sound of their exhaust. So go be that best friend and tell everybody about AMSOIL.com.
My name is Joe Nance. This is my 1965 Ford Falcon Futura. Well, the history of this car is my dad bought me this car new on June the 21st, 1965 from Tennessee Motor Company in Carter County, Tennessee. After about 6 years, I ended up selling the car and getting another car. And then about 4 years later, I started thinking about this. I said, hey, I'd like to have that car back. And I got a hold of the guy, and I called the guy. He said, I'll take your phone number down, and I'll call you if I decide to sell it. So about 6 months later, he called me. Are you still interested in that car? And I said, yes. The sun didn't go down until I had that car in my garage. I said, this is it. I'm never going to sell this car again. And that's been about 45 years ago. I worked at Eastman Co-op there, And I started driving this car. The first day at work, I drove it in 1965. And so anyway, I retired 32 years later. So I drove the car the first day to work, and I drove it the last day at work. It's like being in a time machine, especially if I turn on the 50s or 60 station, I'm really back in time. This car never, ever had any rust on it because Dad had it undercoated. And so it's been protected. Solid as a rock underneath, even though I drove it in all salt and snow all those years. The car is like 98% original. I've got new old stock seat covers on it. I replaced the carpet. The engine's original. Everything is original on it except I replaced the door panels. It's one of these things you don't plan on. It just happens, and I'm blessed to have it.
Motorhead Garage is brought to you by Truckers Warehouse. We do it right the first time. Dirty Deeds Industries, performance without drone. And by Better Battery Bolt. You are nuts not to try these bolts. Lowell Carroll. He is our PaintedAutoParts.com Motorhead of the Week. And believe me when I tell you, this guy can work on anything with an engine. He started out working on outboard motors on boats, but then that changed about 20 years ago. Lowell says he hired a guy to work on his motorcycle, and that guy did him wrong. So he took matters into his own hands and started working on bikes. He soon opened Hitman Custom Cycles in Kingsport, Tennessee. Of course, Lowell loves cars too, and he says he wants to retire from the bikes to keep working on his '29 Ford Coupe. Congratulations to Lowell Carroll. He is our PaintedAutoParts.com Motorhead of the Week. Tribotex is a great product that works. If you just inject it into the engine, you don't have to go through anything extra. But Pasha, if you want to take it to the next level and make Tribotex work at its best, there are a few best practices. Now, number one, you guys have told me, clean the engine. Make sure it's a clean surface to begin with. How does that work?
Yes, you want to make sure that these surfaces are clean. You can use engine flush before oil change, or you can use our new superior artisan bio-based cleaner called PR1.
And BR1 is great because it's environmentally friendly.
It is environmentally friendly, it is non-toxic, and third, it is a super concentrate, so a small amount goes really long way.
And the second thing, no other additives. You don't want to put other stuff in your engine while you're using Tribotex.
Yes, all additive companies, we all fight against common enemy, friction and status quo of large oil companies that produce mediocre product. But it is very difficult to know how different additives will interact. So we recommend you to stay within same technology.
Another one your lead engineer Brian told me about is actually mix Tribotex with the oil before you put the oil into the vehicle, right?
Depends on the application. You can inject it where it's easy to inject, or you can mix it with the oil and pour the oil through the regular route.
You won't notice immediate results necessarily with Tribotex. Sometimes it takes a little while, so you need some patience.
You're right, patience is the virtue in this case, because we are not immediate solid lubricant. We are film former. We build the film over time. It takes about 10 motor hours to build a film that gives you dramatically low friction and all the benefits that goes together with using the product. So when you wait a little, it pays off royally.
But in today's society, I want immediate results. So if I don't see it working immediately, I'm just going to add more and more and more. But that's a big no-no. You don't want to overdo it when it comes to Tribotex.
You will hear difference in noise in the very first 15 minutes when the valve train starts to quiet down. But the biggest difference is from the coating piston cylinder group. The very slow splash lubrication and rings remove most of the lubricant. That's where the most difference for the long-term effect and the fuel consumption happens, and the power. That's what you want to wait for.
You don't want to overdo it with Tribotex.
Yes, lower amount over longer time works better than more at once.
I have a lot of viewers that email me and send me notes and ask me about Tribotex. They want to know two things, Pasha. The first one is it safe for my vehicle? Is it safe?
It's absolutely safe, and there's no condition in which it can't make an improvement.
And what about a new vehicle? It doesn't seem to need much improvement.
In new cars, you will not see much of a difference in terms of efficiency, but you will see a lot of difference in terms of longevity. And right after first oil change, it's perfect time to apply.
What about older vehicles and you're starting to have problems and maybe you hear some rattles and that sort of thing? Tribotex is perfect for those folks too.
That's right. The more friction, the more difference it will make. So the older cars perform better, more cylinders perform better, and smaller engine, it performs better. This is all the places where a lot of friction robs you of fuel efficiency.
And it takes that friction away, but there's a lot of metal on metal wear, so you get some grooves and scratches, that sort of thing in the metal parts of the car. How can Tribotex fix those?
The grooves turn into smooth, glassy-like surface that is porous ceramic, and those pores filled with lubricant, so that lubricant works even when shock loads or sudden potholes happen.
Gotcha. Now let's talk about the other question I get a lot is how easy is it to apply or install or use Tribotex?
If you know how to pop up the hood of the car and find where you put oil, that's all you need. You stop the engine, you open the hood, you inject material, you close it, you let it run for 15 minutes to assure dispersion, and it's good to go for 500 miles, and then you will see a difference.
How often do we need to put Tribotex in our car?
It's enough for 40,000 miles, so once per few years if you drive not fast, or seasonally if you, let's say, ride-share driver.
Well, Tribotex is going to make your vehicle last longer. It's also going to take your old vehicle, actually repair the damage, and give you better performance. You can check it out at tribotex.com. You can also find all the science there behind it. We'll return with more Motorhead Garage in 7 days, but you don't have to wait that long. You can find our show anywhere you stream TV. Until then, so long, drive safely. We'll see you.